Tonight on Evening, a new Netflix series shares a tale of two families battling it out in the Washington territories of the 1850s.
Oh la la, it's me, Cisco. I'm gonna show you how to pick the perfect Christmas tree.
Plus, a luxurious way to celebrate the holidays that's just a seaplane flight away.
On the inner harbor with the most gorgeous view of Victoria.
Rain or shine, the show must go on. Welcome to the farm. I'm Chris Cashman. We are in Redmond at the Sears farm. This was my very first job, 15 and a half. I made the phone call, left a message on the answering machine. Kids, it was on tape in those days. Back in the 1900s, they're growing just about everything here on the property. Everything from pickling cucumbers to you pick strawberries, pumpkins, and yes, Christmas trees. It is so fun to be back here after all these decades, and I can't believe it's still just Bill and Nancy Sears.
It is. Two-man show. We are local. We are a simple setup here. And we've grown almost anything, everything you can think of. Vegetables, strawberries. We had every kind of pumpkin you could imagine. Christmas trees.
Bill, what kind of trees we got out here?
Norderman fir and some noble firs.
Only open on weekends, 9 to, we say 5, but it's dark by 4:30.
Oh, you are farmers.
Oh, we are.
You decide when you're closing.
We do. We love that you've come back. It's been a great life, really.
Come see the Sears this weekend. It doesn't get any fresher than this. Now, if you're one of those people that wants a pre-cut tree, you don't want to get down, you don't want to get dirty, don't just grab any tree. There are some pointers, some things you should know. And here's Cisco Morris to the rescue.
Ho, ho, ho. I don't like how that bends. A little thin there, guy. Oh, I like this, but it's too darn big. Ooh la la. Ooh, now that one, nice and full, pretty great color. This is the way you find the perfect Christmas tree. I've got a few tips that you might try that'll really help you find a good one like this. Okay, the first thing you do, you want to see if this tree is fresh. If it's not fresh, it won't last through the holidays. So take a branch, bend it down, boing! If it pops back up like that, that's perfect. Another test you could do is take your hands, now don't do it too tight, but just go like that. Look at that, no needles dropping off at all. If a whole bunch of needles drop off when you do that, that's definitely a bad sign. Okay, the other thing is the color's really good on this, but there's one really important test you have to do. You have to do this when nobody's looking. Oh la la. So this is the Cisco thump test. Very gently lift the plant and thump the living tweedle out of it. Oh man, no needles dropped off at all. This is a good one. One last test you have to do. You want to turn it around and make sure that no branches are missing, because the worst thing you could do is get home, set up your tree, and all of a sudden you look and there's big gaps all between the branches. That's a real bummer. So I think this is my baby. All right, kiddo, you're coming home with me. Here we go. Oh, you're gonna love it at my house, little tree. And I've got some cool ornaments. I've got a slug ornament I'm gonna put on you.
That is one lucky tree, and once again, Cisco saves the holidays. He wants to give a shout out to the Hunter Farm tree lot there in Seattle's Wedgwood neighborhood. It has been a holiday tradition since the 1950s. Now, maybe you want to get out of the gloom, you want to get out on a luxurious, exciting holiday adventure. Well, I've got just the thing, and it's just a seaplane flight away. Here's Saint with the details.
Victoria is really special. They do Christmas really well.
There's no shortage of holiday magic in Victoria, and with Kenmore Air, you'll think it's magic with how quickly you can get to Canada.
We're talking about only 45 minutes to get up to Victoria, but it's the most scenic flight that you'll ever have. And you've got amazing views of the city to start out, and then all the islands, straight of Juan de Fuca, and then coming into Victoria's Inner Harbor. There's no easier way.
Once you arrive, you're just steps from downtown and the Fairmont Empress Hotel, where Christmas is steeped in tradition.
We've been doing afternoon tea for over 100 years, so coming in for the holidays with the families, kids, grandparents, afternoon tea, big staple.
Outside on the festive veranda, visitors can enjoy hot chocolate, fondue, and s'mores with homemade marshmallows and graham crackers.
You're outside on the Inner Harbor with the most gorgeous view of Victoria. So people really can come in here, cozy up in a blanket around the fire, but still have all of the beautiful, elegant experiences that people have and come to love here at the Fairmont Empress.
The veranda also offers views of the boats in the harbor and the Legislative Building, which have been lit up for the holidays. If you can tear yourself away from the hotel, visit nearby Butchart Gardens, where tens of thousands of lights brighten the dark days of winter.
We love to turn moments into memories for people. There's just so much here that it warms my heart to be a part of creating traditions and experiences for families. It's really special.
Looks like a lot of fun. Saint, thank you. And don't delay, folks. Book your flight with Kenmore Air, the holiday flight to Victoria, BC before it's too late.
Coming up, a pair of powerhouse performers play two matriarchs battling for power in a new Netflix series taking us back to the Washington territories of the 1850s. And a sleepy Washington town rises all thanks to pizza.
Wow!
Local stories make a difference.
That's good.
With the power to enrich lives, strengthen communities, and make us smile. Evening is made possible by Primera Blue Cross. Primera Blue Cross, always in your corner.
And welcome back to Evening. I'm Chris Cashman, back here in Redmond at the Sears Farm. This was my very first job. You cut Christmas trees this weekend. Look for me if you swing by. I know this is kind of catch up on your favorite TV season. Netflix has got a new series. In fact, it takes us back 200 years to the Washington territories of the 1850s. Two powerhouse performers play two matriarchs battling for power. Here's Saint with the stars of The Abandons.
We are at a crossroads, Fiona. My pursuit of your land is not greed. It is survival.
In The Abandons, the X-Files' Gillian Anderson faces off against Game of Thrones queen Lena Headey in a battle over the future and soul of the fictional Washington Territory town, Angels Ridge. You both have such incredibly devoted fan bases. Everyone's so excited about this. What was it like working together, and were you surprised about anything about your fellow actress?
Not surprised, but impressed with how good of an actor Lena is.
We're very matched in focus when it comes to it. It's gorgeous to be able to have a giggle, and then when you turn it on, you turn it on. We don't need to sit in that all day long.
Hell is coming.
You may be hard-pressed to come up with a Western series starring two strong women. One of the reasons both actors signed up for their roles.
We are also two women in our 50s, holding our own and continuing to work and show up as powerful, outspoken, effective women, I think is important to see.
To prepare for this Western shoot, Lena spent 2 weeks learning to ride horses.
We're just playing tag on horses and trying not to fall off. What a privilege to get to learn a skill. That's what I always love about this job.
The landscape is another star of The Abandons, with Alberta doubling for Washington. Gillian, what did you think of Alberta? It's such a popular filming spot. I've always wanted to visit.
It is absolutely stunning.
Alberta has recently been featured as filming locations for Leonardo DiCaprio's The Revenant, as well as Legends of the Fall and Brokeback Mountain.
I've got so many photographs on my phone that you cannot believe are not backdrops, that they're actually real places with beautiful skies, big mountain ranges, windy rivers through valleys. It's just really, really drop-dead gorgeous.
With sweeping vistas, intense character drama, and 2 celebrated stars at the helm, The Abandons is poised to make a mark on the genre.
It looks great, and timing is everything. Abandons starts streaming on Netflix today. And you know, that show very well could have been set in Wilkeson, the old Pierce County mining town where time stands still. That is, until one family decided to change all that through pizza. Here's Saint.
You can drive through downtown Wilkeson in a matter of seconds, but if you park the car and walk, you can step back a century in time.
The thing I like about this town is got so much past history behind it.
In the late 1800s, when coal was discovered in the Carbon River Valley, Wilkeson became known as one of the roughest mining towns in the West.
These are the remaining coke ovens.
Wilkeson Mines and its sandstone quarry provided thousands of jobs for European immigrants.
The sandstone that came out of that quarry actually built the buildings in Olympia.
At its peak, 5,000 people lived here, went to school here, worshipped here, and drank here. But when the coal industry declined, the quarry closed, Wilkeson began to fade away.
I think there's a lot of times throughout the history of Wilkeson where it could have disappeared into nothing.
Wilkeson today, you can still get a snapshot of life at the turn of the century, but you will also find something unexpected. Really good pizza.
The pizza is a specialty pizza with the sourdough. You can't really find that in too many places in Western Washington, at least.
Ashley's husband, Ian Galbraith, came up with the recipe using naturally fermented dough, which is cooked inside a wood-fueled bread baking oven from France.
I think it's superior. I think it tastes better.
Many people seem to agree, including Ian's parents, who bought a building that hadn't been open to the public for 30 years, the historic Carlson Block, and spent 8 years renovating it. Once Washington's sleepiest town, Wilkeson has come back to life. Praise be to pizza.
I think we have some really unique, interesting things that are happening here. There's a lot to remember in Wilkeson.
Yum, not many things I would not do for good pizza. And Saint says, Carlson Block, that pizza? Yes, well worth the drive to Wilkeson.
Up next, an acclaimed photographer and adventurer captures the inspiring mountains in North Bend.
Now in our 40th season, Evening shares local stories that make our communities shine. Thanks to support from PEMCO Insurance. PEMCO empowers the Northwest to prevent the preventable. Learn how at PEMCO.com.
Hi, Jose here with the PEMCO Prevention Moment. Celebrating the holidays with family is a special time, but it's also a reason to be extra careful. Keep these tips in mind to prevent holiday electrical fires. When decorating for this season, swap the old hot filament bulbs for cooler, safer LEDs. Always use lights and cords rated for outdoor use. If you have a tree, place it at least 3 feet from fireplaces, heaters, or candles. Keep the real trees watered and dispose of them soon after the holidays to reduce fire risk. Finally, unplug the lights when you are away or set them on a timer. A few small steps can keep your holidays merry, bright, and safe. For more preventing the preventable tips, log into PEMCO.com.
And welcome back to Evening. I'm Chris Cashman, back home on the farm here. We're at the Sears Farm in Redmond. This was my very first job. I got it at 15 and a half, and now I'm back with a TV camera. And the perfect opportunity to test out the holiday gift I got 1 year ago, my personal portable studio. Weatherproof. It works, Mom, this is great. You know, when it's not this gloomy and rainy, this valley is beautiful. And the mountains in North Bend, not far from here, recently inspired a world-class photographer and adventurer, and Jose has that story.
What started as a skier looking for the perfect snow in the mountains soon sparkled his creativity and passion for art.
I'm an outdoor photographer focused on mountain landscapes and outdoor sports photography, gaining access through rock climbing, mountain biking, backcountry skiing, and then try and create art photography in those landscapes. The way it feels to sort of completely unplug from daily life and live a very simple existence. Photography is a really cool craft because it fits whatever it is you do and however it is that you see the world. The way that I engage most deeply in the world has always been through outdoor activities.
I decided to tag along with Scott on a photography hiking trip.
This is a 100 to 400 millimeter lens, and that lets you get in really tightly and really isolate elements.
So right now, Scott is taking photos of Mount Garfield. The lighting looks good, so this might be his lucky day.
Mount Garfield and a few of the surrounding mountains here are quite unique, so I love to come out here and play with the compositions. Session on a hot day, why not?
He is so connected to the mountains in the Northwest that he even opened his own gallery in North Bend.
The gallery is a result of a deep appreciation for the tangible art form of photography. The collection that we're opening the gallery with is called Granite Volume 1. It's a study of granite landscapes from Washington and California. What I've tried to do is create images that really isolate elements of the landscape. I think it's all the more important that we create spaces and create time to enjoy photography in an analog space. I hope to use this place as a wonderful arena for storytelling.
Without a doubt, Scott's photography can tell many stories, and hopefully it can also create awareness for future generations to enjoy.
Making sure that all these places are protected and preserved and appreciated. It's a sense of awe, and not awe for what I'm doing, but awe for what I've seen.
Those photos are incredible. You know, Scott has a new exhibition, Forest Abides. It's now showing in the Snoqualmie Valley there. The gallery is open Thursday through Sunday.
And still to come on Evening, how these Scandinavian stars are bringing light to the dark days of winter.
They just make me happy.
Evening is sponsored by PEMCO.
And welcome back to Evening. I'm Chris Cashman. In my hometown, we're in Redmond at the Sears Farm. They're open for you-cut Christmas trees this weekend. Meanwhile, a Lake Forest Park artist is using her Scandinavian heritage to brighten the dark days of winter. Evening photojournalist Diane Lewis-Torrey shows us how.
These are plastic strapping ribbons, and I like to use these to keep them out of the trash. They're a great material to use for these stars. I don't want to throw this away. I could use it for something. So you use 6 strips per side, so 12 total. I use a hot glue gun for these because it helps keep them together really well, and it dries pretty quickly. Scandinavian Advent star. They could be called like a Swedish Advent star or a Finnish star. She likes to hang out in here with me. She especially loves all the little strips of plastic. It's such a fun process, even though it's very simple. I also love the symmetry. This one I made out of some leftover ribbon scraps. These are from a damaged Filson shopping bag. Just weaving actual items and weaving my values together really speaks to me, and it's inspiring. I really love my Scandinavian heritage, Norwegian, Swedish, and Danish mostly, that I'm just really drawn to various aspects of the history and culture of that area. The first time I went to Norway, I really had goosebumps and felt such like a belonging there. Yeah, it's been cool to kind of reconnect with my family's history. Now it's done. They look really nice at the top of a Christmas tree and just kind of remind you of the light. They just make me happy. Stars, you know, they just have something about them that is mysterious and beautiful, especially in the winter when it is darker and, you know, we have less light. Star. They really just kind of bring some light into a darker time.
In Norway, the stars actually shine during the darkest days of winter. People put lights in them and then hang them from their front doors. Now, speaking of shining lights, Thank you to the Sears family here in Redmond, hanging out in the valley for decades now. The Sears Farm, still going strong. This was my first job back in the 1900s, kids, and now Cashman's back. And he's got a chainsaw. Because we're doing Christmas trees. Come see him this weekend. Until then, we'll see you. I gotta find the best one before. Oh wait, maybe it's over here. Chris, you know, don't run with the chainsaw, Chris. We don't run with the chainsaw. This is probably the one. No, that's not